Here's a screenshot of $22,500 in a single week and $13,500 in 12 hours. But what no one tells you is that this was after weeks, if not months, of plateauing with the business and essentially going through the worst drought I've ever experienced. There's this phenomena in entrepreneurship, business, life, and in general where nothing happens for a while and then everything happens. When it rains, it pours. There's days where weeks happen and there's weeks where days happen. And this is one of those times where weeks happen in days, right? People think that business and entrepreneurship is linear. Every single month I'm going to improve by 10%, right? Like you as a person might be improving every single day, but your business does not work like that at all. There's a delay, right? And it's called latency. So essentially from input to output, input is essentially you sending DMs and emails, posting content, and also running ads, all right? That's you doing the inputs, doing the work. There's latency from inputs to output. So essentially you making money, right? And people can't quite wrap their head around this phenomena because it doesn't make sense to the logical brain, right? So there's this quote that also says, it's never crowded along the extra mile, from Dr. Wayne. And most people just give up because they go through this plateau and they're like, oh shit, my business, this isn't for me. I knew I wasn't gonna make it. Then I just quit. Because success and failure is on the same road. Failure is just an earlier exit. So you are doing the same inputs. It's just you're quitting too early. That's all it is. So entrepreneurship is a lot more about faith and essentially just pushing through it and enduring the suffering. That's all it is. All these guys say, just keep going, endurance, all of this. Because if you do it long enough, you will get lucky. That's just how it works. And I want to start this video off by, in this video, I'm going to go over a couple points, just what I've learned, in these past couple months, and just the entrepreneurship space in general, and online business, and essentially how you can adopt these principles to just become aware of them. So as you are going through them, oh yeah, Andro told me this thing, and I'm aware now, so I'm just going to keep pushing through it. But that's all you really need to do, all right? So, number one, the truth about saturation. Obviously in the title, I put, it's in a saturated SMMA. So I'm in the organic short form content niche. Okay, I don't know if that's even a niche, but the services that I offer is organic short form content at a mass level. So think of the Andrew Tate strategy, right? Where you essentially got all these accounts. And I do that for other big personal brands, like we've worked with Mike Tyson and other big personal brands, really big guys, top guys, and we essentially bring this, we call it the satellite account system, where we make these satellite accounts that essentially post short form content for them. We do it more controlled and in-house, so we can actually form a narrative around their content, okay? So essentially why Andrew Tate's model is flawed is because they got the affiliate link in the bio, but they would just post outlandish content just to get the most views, right? And that got him banned because it was just the most outlandish things that he's ever said clipped into short form, right? Out of context and just pushed out to get as much views as possible. So the clipper can just, get affiliate sales. But if you do it internally, right, you can actually form a narrative. And that's what these, other big guys are currently doing. So saturation. Saturation doesn't mean the market is dead. It means it's validated. That's extremely important. People think that saturation is a bad thing. Not at all. More agencies equal more demand, right? If there's a lot of agencies flooding to a certain segment of the marketplace, it means there's a lot of demand. People are actively looking for those services. Most of them are terrible, which makes it easier for you to win. And which is essentially the supply, all right? You've got market, demand and supply. That's like basic business, all right? And demand, essentially people saying, okay, I want this service, I've got this problem and I want it solved. And the agencies have the solution, so they are the supply, right? So saturation is a good thing. Very, very good. But most agencies are terrible. So that means you can go to a saturated market, a red ocean, go there and just dominate. Because most people are terrible. So they're just going to, after a while, go to you. That's how you do it. And Naval has this amazing quote that I never heard, anywhere, but I looked it up and it's super cool. So don't look for the lack of competition. Look for the lack of competence. This is so good. This is essentially the red ocean, blue ocean strategy. All right. Don't look for the lack of competition. look for the lack of competence. Where are people incompetent? Where are people not putting in all their effort? A very good example of this at the moment is the online education space. People don't put enough effort into that at all. And that means they're not putting enough effort into their product, like their info product, all right? And we just like, we are the complete antithesis of that. We put so much effort into this and not enough marketing, because obviously we only have so much time, and we spend that time just focusing on making the most exceptional product the world has ever seen. And also we are kind of in a blue ocean as well, because we are focused on health and wealth. Obviously I've been going to the gym for 7 years. I know the importance of having optimized energy, good sleep, all of this. Like, I'm extremely optimized. I have too much energy. Like, I can't sleep at night. It's kind of, I've gone to the extreme point, but I can use all this energy now on my product and essentially make it even better. When you're lazy, when you procrastinate all the time, when you don't have energy to do your work, like, you're obviously not going to build an exceptional product. So if you want a taste of that, there's a free community in the description, a free mini course that we put 200 hours in. 200 hours in a free mini course. Well, the course is not 200 hours, it's 20 hours. If you combine the health and the wealth, 10 hours each. But collectively, we put 200 hours into creating these modules, doing the research, and just putting everything together. Amazing. People love it. It's growing by like 30% a month, organically through word of mouth. What does that mean? People love it and they are referring their friends to it. We aren't even doing any marketing for it. It's all word of mouth. So if you want to check that out, it's like first or second link in the description. All right. So shameless plug. Number 2, you want a crowded room. The more people try to enter the room, the more valuable what's inside. Blue oceans are nice. Like, we are kind of positioning ourselves in a blue ocean, but red oceans have money. The key is positioning, not escaping saturation. So with our business, there's a lot of saturation in like this niche, whatever. Okay. And the best way to create a moat around that is your personal brand, because no one can replicate that. Like, there's no other Andro in the world, like nothing at all. Maybe like a, what do you call it? Doppelganger, but like, I think that's the right word. But yeah, anyway, go where demand is proven, then just be better. Like, that's the secret right there. Don't necessarily go to a blue ocean, especially when you're starting out. It's very, very difficult to spot blue oceans. It's like a intuitive skill you need to build up. Go to a red ocean where a lot of people are doing commerce, like there's a value exchange between money and services, right? Go there and just position yourself better. That's what I did in my, short form agency. It's like 2 years ago, no one wanted this service, no one. But I could like sense where the market was going. And this is an intuitive skill that's very difficult to learn, that you can only adopt once you've been in business for a while. And I study a lot, okay? Like, I study, all right? And by doing that, I learn from all these people. I absorb all this information. I have like this intuitive sense what people want. And like, there's this quote from Henry Ford that says, if I asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. So people don't even know what they want. And Henry Ford's obviously the guy who built the first automobile, right? So people don't even know what they want. You need to give them something so exceptional that they are drawn to it. And that's by building an amazing product, okay? Cool. Number 3, I already mentioned this previously, but when it rains, it pours. Breakthroughs often come after your worst, after your biggest test. Like, there's this saying as well. Like, there's all these sayings that say the same thing. So why don't you think you are going to go through it? You are 100% going to experience it as well. Your biggest breakthrough often comes right before your biggest test, or something along those lines. Right before you are tested the most, right? That's when your biggest breakthrough is going to come through. Because like, the universe or God is testing you to see if you're actually about that. Like, do you actually want this? And a good proxy to see if you want this is, can you go through a lot of trial and error or a lot of doubt? Can you go through that and still want the thing? Then you're probably pretty worthy of it. All right. So your biggest breakthrough often come right before or right after your biggest test. That's like a universal law. All right. The slow months are a test. So when you are going through these slow months, we're not experiencing any growth. You are growing internally, by the way. So this is the cool thing about business. Like, business is just an extension of you and your self-improvement. Okay. Because your product will never exceed you. So in order to, I just wrote an email about this yesterday, actually. So if you want to sign up to the email newsletter. If you join the free community, you sign up to the newsletter as well. So if you sign up to the free mini course that I just plugged like a couple minutes ago, you sign up to the newsletter also. There's just some more free value. And in that email, I mentioned that these slow months, right? It's a test to see if you're actually about that. What was I trying to say? There was something I was trying to say that I wrote in that email. I totally forgot. Total blank. Anyway, everything comes at once. So, as I mentioned in the screenshot, the idea will probably come to me from the ether. It's probably like lost somewhere. But I signed 3 clients in 12 hours, right? That was like the test, the slow months. I didn't see any growth. Oh yeah, it came back from the ether. Still there? Okay. So, oh my word, what is going on? Oh yeah. So in business, you are either growing internally or your business is growing. So you can only win. This is the cool thing about business. All right. It's an extension of you. And yeah, it's all coming back now. So the product will never exceed you. So self-improvement is the highest or the most important thing you can really optimize for, because the more you improve as a person, the better your product is going to be, and the better your product is going to be, the more people you can help and the more money you'll make. So there's like this delay as well. When you are going through these slow months, you are essentially improving, you are building patience, you are building up all these skills, discipline, and pushing through doubt and all these things that are necessary for success. Once you push through that, you've built up that skill set, and then you see the fruits of your labor. Okay? So that's the cool thing. Don't necessarily just focus on the product. Focus on you. Reading and learning, and also obviously going through trial and error with your business and doing stuff. The more you do, the more you learn. But also to kind of fast track that process, just read a lot. Like you are going through, Warren Buffett said that you don't necessarily have to experience, the failures yourself. You can just learn from other people. Trial and error doesn't mean it has to be your errors. Okay. You can just learn from other people. You don't have to get hit by a bus to know that you have to look both ways when crossing the street. You can just, learn that once you were younger. Your parents probably told you, look both ways before you cross the street. You don't have to actually get hit by a bus to learn that lesson, right? So same in business. You don't have to go through the failure yourself to learn that lesson. Obviously, you will internalize it more when you go through it yourself. And some things you have to go through yourself, 100%. Like I can teach you all the stuff, or I can, not teach, but just share all the lessons to you. But you won't truly internalize it if you haven't gone through it yet. So, yeah, endurance is more important than brilliance. And this is an ancient Stoic quote. Endurance is more important than brilliance. Even Charlie Munger said that he didn't optimize for being smart. Charlie Munger was Warren Buffett's business partner, probably the smartest guy, wisest guy to roam the earth in like the recent modern times. And he said that he didn't optimize for being smart. He optimized for not being dumb. So just not making the stupid mistakes. And if you avoid the stupid mistakes, you will just become smart as a process. It's like achieving the goal through its opposite. There's a word for that. It's not duality, but something along those lines. All right. So number 4, entrepreneurship is a staircase. It's not linear. It's quiet. For months, nothing happened, and then boom, it just explodes. Like, what just happened? This is like I'm just like destroying my mic here, but this is like a phenomenon every single entrepreneur experiences. So you will go through it. So when you go through it, just become aware of that and just know, like, oh yeah, like this is normal. This isn't an error. Like this isn't a bug. Like this is a feature. Okay. Plateaus are completely normal. During those plateaus, you are growing as a person, right? And then obviously, as I mentioned, latency from input to output, then your business grows because your business will never exceed you and your self-improvement. So these plateaus are actually crucial for you to grow and develop patience and discipline and consistency and all those things. So growth happens in bursts. So here's the thing. Most people quit in a plateau. Like you wouldn't really quit once your business is like exploding and everything is going well. Like people don't quit at that time, right? They quit when it's the plateau. So just don't do that. That's where the magic is happening. Like that's where you are internally growing. And number five, intuition is extremely underrated. Extremely. You have to feel the future before others see it. So this is where faith and also intuition play a big part. And I don't think people truly understand the importance of this. A lot of entrepreneurs are extremely logical. They're just like rational data. Obviously that's important, but like they're too optimized for the data and not necessarily intuition and like feeling yeah, it's obviously difficult to explain because and also that's why people don't teach it because you can't grasp it. It's like, how do I explain intuition? It's like, oh, it's a gut feeling. Well, like how does that help me? But that is what helped me a lot. I just had this gut feeling. When I started March, you wouldn't believe this. When I started March, like, it's 27 March currently, I said March is going to be an amazing month. I just started that. Like, nothing, there was absolutely nothing that was leading to that. Like, no signs of growth, nothing. Like, I had nothing to base it off, like, no data. I was doing the exact same thing, doing the same inputs. I changed absolutely nothing about my business. Nothing. Like, absolutely nothing, okay? Like, there's not even a single thing I changed in the month of March. Nothing. And in 2022, right, when I started my agency, no one wanted my service, right? Like no one was really looking for the solution. I could kind of feel that people intuit, is that the right word? Like intuit? Intuition is obviously the noun. I don't think intuit, I don't know. I think that's like the verb. But anyway, I could kind of sense where the market is shifting and heading. And that's that's intuition, right? And Steve Jobs has this amazing quote where he says, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. And I don't think a lot of people optimize for this because it's very difficult to, even work on this or even tangibly improve this. Like you can't really see it at all. But even like Steve Jobs, Henry Ford, like all of these guys relied on intuition. Like I said in the previous quote from Henry Ford, if I asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. So he didn't go to the marketplace and ask them, what do you want? Obviously, that's important still. So that's why there's nuance. You need to kind of blend the two. But he just had this feeling that everyone's going to want cars. Like cars wasn't even a thing, by the way. Like, they were just riding on horses. That's all. Like a car was like this crazy thing that no one thought about. And he's like, yeah, people are going to want this. And when he got his first prototype, he sent that over. Like he was working for his boss. He had like a job or something. And his boss told him, it's either the job you're going to working with me or you're going to work on your, engine in your garage. And Henry Ford is like, I'm working on the engine. Crazy. Like no one wanted this. Like even everyone discouraged him. Like that is a sign you're on the right path. But you also have to feel and know, like, you might really be on the wrong path. But if you deep down internally know, okay, like, this is really my path, like, this is where I'm headed, this is absolutely the thing I need to do, then you're A for away. Then you're perfect. Number 6, this ties into number 5. Trends are felt, not just analyzed. Trends are essentially, you want to ride trends, right? Even Charlie Munger talks about this. You want to kind of, when a trend is happening, you can ride that wave for a long time, okay? So, but obviously, to ride a trend, you kind of have to be at the forefront of it, right? And to be at the forefront of a trend, you can't go with consensus because people haven't even validated it at all. So you kind of have to be at the forefront and be like, yo, like this thing is going to happen. And then everyone is like, what are you talking about? Like this is not, no one wants this. That's intuition, okay? You need to sense what's coming, not just react to what's here. Because if you react, you are way too late. If you hop on the bandwagon, like let's say the Bitcoin trend or whatever, when everyone is talking about it, you're too late. If you invested when your Uber driver is talking about Bitcoin, you would have lost everything. So you kind of had to be at the forefront when no one was believing in it. That is the mark of you going in the right direction and you being at the forefront of things. Spotting patterns before they emerge is a superpower. And this I can't teach you, right? People skip this topic because they can't teach it. It's like, it's not tangible. Like, how do I teach spotting trends? You kind of just have to, this is how I do it. I just learn a lot. I absorb a lot of information from, smart people. I study a lot. You got the books up there. I haven't even read those books. I just do audiobooks or like podcasts. You know, Not even necessarily people in the space, like, other people like Warren Buffett, like the smartest Ray Dalio, like all these guys. I study them a lot. I absorb a lot of information, just what I want to learn. Like, I'm very curious. So I just read whatever I want to, whatever podcast I'm interested in, whatever my mind is drawn to, I just listen to that and I just absorb a lot of information. And the more information I absorb, the better I can see reality. See it as this: books and learning is like insurance for the future. That's a good way to look about it. And see it like this. It's a good analogy. You've got like a window, okay? But it's kind of dirty. It's like smudged. You can't quite see through the window. Every book you read and podcast you listen to, right? You kind of clean the window a bit. So you can see a bit better through it. And the more big books you read, the more podcasts you listen to, the clearer that window becomes and the better you can see reality. And the better you can see reality, the more truth you can actually see and just like feel, then the more you can know what people will want. Okay, that's like terribly explained, but hopefully that was a good analogy. And everyone's just looking backwards, looking at their past and stuff like that. Like I don't entertain the past, like, ever. From the past comes depression, and I'm never depressed because I never entertain the past. Like, there's nothing there. And obviously, I study history a lot as well, like, the greatest founders. Like, I study their story also. So that also helps a lot, by the way. Like, that's actually a big one now that I think about it. Study the biographies and autobiographies of the greats. Like, that is massive because then you see all of them go through the same shit. All of them. Okay? And all history's greatest entrepreneurs studied history's greatest entrepreneurs. Okay? All of them. They studied the founders before them. So through that, you can also build your intuition a bit. So number 7, the gut is the guide. So a sharp mind starts with a healthy gut. Now, people say that, oh, follow your gut, but they're eating pizza every day and drinking Mountain Dew. Like, your gut is screwed, bro. Like, don't listen to your gut then. Because, as I mentioned, like, your gut is not going to give you the right signals. If you're eating healthy and you are, healthy, you are, working out, you are doing all these things, going for walks in nature, like, that helps a lot. Eating clean, drinking clean water, then you can trust your gut. But optimize your gut first before you do that. And there's a quote from James Allen that says, the body is the servant of the mind. And this all comes down to, really, with our School of Athens that we're building, we merge the health and wealth because it goes together. You can't be, running a successful business, but you're just eating pizza every single day and you have brain fog and don't have energy and you can't think straight. Like, it's not going to work. So you need to have both. You need to be, and also you want the full package. Like, if you want to experience everything life has to offer and the best experience of life, you need to be jacked. Like, it's just one of those things. I don't make the rules. Okay, you'll just have a better life experience if you're jacked. It's just how it is. Okay, just in everything. Confidence. It's just so much things that encapsulates it. All right. So, and then obviously you need to be rich as well. Like, you can't just be the worst thing ever is being like a broke, ripped guy. Like, a jacked. You're kind of jacked, you have a good physique, but you're broke. Like, that's the worst thing ever. People just assume you're dumb. There's already people already think that when you are jacked, like, you're dumb. Like, I don't know where this comes from, but people think it's like meatheads because most people who lift are dumb. Like, that's just how it is. But when you're actually like a smart guy, you are educated and you're jacked, it's like this complete pattern interrupt. People are like, who's this guy? It's like an alien. It doesn't make sense. All right. So if you're rich on top of that, like, you got the best experience. Number 8, there's more than enough clients. People think that SMMA is saturated and that, like, business, I won't get any clients. Like, it's done for. I can't get any more clients. The SMMA wave is done. Like, it's over for me, right? Just hear the stat. 500,000 new businesses are being registered every single month in the US alone. Every single month. 500,000 new businesses. And you think SMMA is saturated? Every single one of those businesses need marketing. Marketing is the lifeblood of any business. It's like, if you don't have marketing, you're gonna die, right? Even the biggest products like Apple, were essentially like, I'm gonna buy every single new iPhone, right? The LTV of an Apple user is insane, but they obviously do marketing as well. Even Steve Jobs said, if you have an amazing product, it's your moral duty to become as proficient as marketing as humanly possible. Because if you believe your product is so good that it can literally change people's lives, why aren't you spending a lot of time on marketing? Obviously, you need to kind of balance the two. That's why it's important. When people say, "Oh, is it product or marketing?" It's both 100%. That's what it is. Like, it's not product 80%, marketing 20%. It's both 100%. That's why you kind of have to work hard. Like, you have to do both. All right. But people spend way too little time on product and way too much time in marketing, because in the short term it does work, but in the long term you're just gonna die out. That's how it works. The only way to survive for the long term is building an exceptional product. Like that's the only way, because you can't market a shitty product. Like, it just doesn't work. In the short term, you might get like people who buy instantly, like emotional buyers just buy in like, yo, like this, I need to have this right now. That works for like 2 years. After that, people just know exactly like, oh, this guy just can't provide any value. Like, he's just a marketing guru. Like, he doesn't really provide value to his audience, right? So number 9, this is actually very important. That ties into how I made that much money in like 12 hours. Work with rich people. Alex Emoji said, you can get rich by solving rich people problems. That's what we do with the agency. Or solving poor people's problems at scale. That's what we are doing with the consulting. So, poor, whatever, like, I don't know, it's not really tangible, but with our consulting that we're doing, the School of Athens, right, we are working with like people just starting out. So by definition, they are poor. They don't have money. They don't have a successful business. They, probably have a job that they don't quite like, seeing it as a stepping stone that they want to get into online business. Okay. So that's our goal with the consulting, is solving poor people's problems at scale. So for that to happen at scale, we obviously need to have a bigger audience, okay? And we're doing that through the podcast and obviously my YouTube channel and the socials and all of that. So with an agency though, you don't want to work with poor people. Like, that is almost, you just don't want to do that. A prerequisite to become successful with the agency is just working with rich clients. We charge $10,000 to $20,000 per month. It's like retainers, by the way, like $10,000 to $20,000 retainers. It's easy to justify that when your clients are making $100,000 a month. It's way easier, but you can't charge that amount of money if your clients don't make any money. So you need to work with rich people when it comes to an agency. Like, this is just you just have to do this. Just trust me. Like, there's no other way. You're like, this is the only way to make good money with an agency, is working with rich clients. Like, that's just the only way. Just trust me on this. You can work with poor people when it comes to an agency, but you can have an LTV of like 1 to 2 months. You're going to charge, let's say, $2,000 a month maximum. They're going to stay for 2 months max. So your LTV of a client is $4,000. Our LTV is like $30,000. You know how much money we can spend to acquire a customer if our LTV is like $30,000? We can spend like 20K on one client and make 10K profit. Obviously, that's not very smart, but we can spend so much. Like, you can only spend like $1,000 to get a $2,000 client, or let's say a $4,000 maximum LTV. You can spend like 2K and then make a 2 ROI. I can spend like, to make that same 2 ROI, I can spend $15,000. So I can outspend you, which means I can get more clients, which means I'll make even more money. So the only way to charge a lot is by working with rich clients. Like, that's just I don't know why people are doing this. So don't underprice yourself by targeting broke clients. And like Alex and Moses said, we are working with broke clients right now with a consulting, but we are solving broke clients' problems at scale. So we're gonna get like 1,000 clients. Let's say we charge $2,000, 1,000 clients. That's $2 million. So with an agency, this is like the transition you have to go through. Freelancer, you start as a freelancer, you gain the skill set. Let's say I did that through organic content. I work with Iman Gaji. I was part of his content team. I learned the organic content way, okay? Then I transitioned into the agency model where I'm kind of doing the strategy that I just explained previously for other personal brands, right? That's the agency. Now I've built authority in the marketplace. I make good money. People would love to make $22,000 in 12 hours, right? And I've obviously done that. So I can teach people how to do that. And I can charge a bit less, let's say $2,000, but I do it at scale and I solve 1,000 people's problems, right? And I help 1,000 people start an agency, and I charge $2,000 each, right? It's a good ROI. Like, let's say I charge you $2,000, and I can help you make an extra $5,000 a month pretty easily, right? That's a good ROI. You pay $2,000 once, and you make $5,000 a month. Like, let's say that's a 3-month LTV. That's $15,000. 5 times 3, 15,000. You pay $2,000 to make $15,000. Like, obviously that's business, okay? So it's a win-win as well. We make money, you make money. It's the ultimate game. But we are doing that at scale. So in order to make good money, like I can't just have 2 clients, for the consulting, because let's say I charge $2,000 each, that's going to be $4,000. Like, that's not enough to make like a good living. Well, obviously good, but if you have big goals, you obviously want to make way more. But with let's say my agency, I've got 2 clients that I'm charging $20K a month each, $20,000 each. I'm making $40,000 a month, okay? But also, if you lose one client, you lose half your revenue. So yeah, that's also the trade-off, all right? So yeah, number 10, faith is the X factor. Like, faith is extremely important, especially during these plateaus. You need to truly believe that you will pull this thing off, especially when you see no results. Like, that's when your faith is tested the most. Like I mentioned in the beginning, you're going to be tested the most right before your biggest breakthrough. Like, that is like a universal law. And the quiet seasons I wrote down are spiritual. Like, during those seasons, you kind of, like, nothing is happening. So you're kind of just thinking. It's like, what is going on? Okay. But when your business is flourishing, you're signing new clients, you're like, okay, SOP, onboarding, like results, boom, boom, boom. You kind of, focused on work. But when you've got no clients, you're just sitting there. So yeah. And it's a quote from Martin Luther King that says, faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. That is faith. Okay. So that's basically that. My final message is that endurance is the edge. Like, that is the biggest edge. The one who can suffer longer wins. So that's also a quote from, not a quote, but NVIDIA, or like the Jensen. He says essentially suffering is the main thing. And he says success and suffering is basically on the same continuum. It's like the same thing. So he says that I wish you the most success, but with that said, I wish you the most suffering, because the more you suffer, the more success you will have. And endurance and just like going through that and eating shit and just like going through all that doubt, like, that is suffering. And that obviously causes the success. So I'm going to leave this video with you, telling you that I wish you the most success. And with that said, I wish you the most suffering, okay? In the best way possible, because the more you suffer, the more you will obviously achieve, okay? Cool. That's basically that. Hope you enjoyed this one. It's a bit all over the place, like most of my YouTube videos are, but obviously I'm also learning and going through the process. If you have any feedback, I would love that in the comments. Just, leave a comment. And if you watched all the way to the end, comment the, like the Greek building emoji. It's like this, what do you call it? Like a Colosseum emoji or something like that. Comment that below. And then I know you watched to the end, a real one. And then like the video, do all those things. And then I see you on the next one. Cheers.